From the Hussman School of Journalism and Media at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
With lacrosse and softball all starting their seasons this weekend, we have a lot to talk about.
Not to mention the women's tennis team going for its fourth straight indoor championship, the men's basketball team's woes, and the hockey team starting its playoff run. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Barbara Joy Tillman.
And I'm Joshua Dolgoff. Let's dive right in with women's basketball. The UNC women's basketball team was back in action last night after having its 8-game win streak ended last Sunday. The Tar Heels look to get back on track against Syracuse with Alyssa Usby still out due to injury. Anya Poole dominated early, capping off a 10-3 Carolina run with this layup down low. It was Deja Kelly who kept the Tar Heels in the game in the second quarter. She finished with 19 first-half points, and the Tar Heels enter the break up 2. The third quarter would be all Syracuse, though. UNC couldn't stop Georgia Woolley on either end of the court, and the Orange outscored Carolina 31-14 in the quarter. Despite this late bucket from Kelly giving her a career-high 32 points, UNC dropped its second straight game, 75-67.
The men's team will look to find its way back into the win column this weekend, playing an aggressive Clemson team at home tomorrow afternoon. Following 3 disappointing losses late in the season, the Tar Heels are now in search of offensive stability, something they struggled to find against Duke and Wake Forest on the road. Clemson, currently second in the ACC standings, has a record of 10-3 in conference play. Carolina's spark of intensity will have to come from veterans like Armando Bacot, who currently leads the ACC in rebounding. And after a momentum-slowing loss to Miami on Saturday, the Tigers will look to put a damper on Carolina's return to the Dean Dome this weekend. Tip-off for the loaded conference matchup is set for 2 o'clock. Now, Joshua, with both our men's and women's teams now currently in losing streaks, I think we need to see some really big changes. I think we already know what we need to see from the women, and that's getting Alyssa Usby back healthy. I mean, she's an absolute anchor for the team, especially defensively, and they're really struggling without her.
Absolutely. I mean, Usby's the glue for Coach Banghart, but for the men, we need to see some more drastic changes. And I'm talking about moving around the starting lineup. I'm a fan of moving Jalen Washington to replace Pete Nance at the 4. He can stretch the floor, and Nance just not shooting the ball great as of recent. 1 of 10 against Duke. That's just not going to get it done. But let's also see some more guard play. Let's see some more Seth Trimble, more DeMarco Dunn, especially if the guards in the starting lineup are not going to be shooting the ball well. But reality is we have 2 tough games against Clemson and Miami, top of the ACC. It is do or die for the Heels now.
Absolutely critical, Joshua. And if you think about it, it's really the difference between a number 1 preseason ranking and possibly not even making it to the tournament this year. And we're talking about a team with championship aspirations. And I think they should be looking to our national champion women's lacrosse team for some inspiration. And they'll be hosting its first game of the season tomorrow against James Madison University. The Tar Heels will look toward offensive leaders like Caitlin Wurzberger and Olivia Dirks to find cracks in the JMU defense, led by Myri Durkin, who was named the American Conference Preseason Defensive Player of the Year. On the other end of the field, Brooklyn Walker-Welch and Emily Knowles will be key in stopping JMU's 6-foot redshirt junior Isabella Peterson, who scored 72 goals last season for the Dukes. UNC completed a perfect season last year, and on Saturday, the Heels will have the chance to prove that they deserve to remain the top team in college lacrosse. The game is at noon on Dorrance Field. The last time UNC played JMU was the first game of last season. Carolina won 15-8, but the number 1 Heels can't get too comfortable. Women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa is here to break down the key aspects to keep that undefeated title. Caroline?
BJ, Jenny Levy has always said, and I quote, JMU is strong, big, and fast. They can really do it all. So in order for the Heels to dominate them, they need to find their rhythm and use their speed when they're off the ball. Levy calls junior Caitlin Wurzberger her quarterback, and this nickname was validated during the last matchup against the Dukes. Take a look at this. She's the definition of a playmaker. Right here, Wurzberger sees Ali Mastriani through 2 defenders right here, and she can use her versatility to curve around, and what she loves to do is shoot low, but she can also give Mastriani a clear pass for the goal right here. Another one of Carolina's strengths is the way they move the ball. It's so crisp that it goes from A to B to C. Right here, you can see Long with the ball, passes to Ortega, then to Wurzberger, low for a great shot. They're able to find Wurzburger for a clear pass and to lead to a goal that's almost impossible to defend. This needs to be Carolina's game plan going into this matchup because JMU is still a big threat. BJ?
Caroline, what do you think the Heels need to worry about that JMU will bring to the table?
Well, as you said before, Isabella Peterson, the junior on JMU, had 72 goals last season, and she only had one game out of 19 that she didn't score in at all. In order to secure a win, our defense will need to communicate to stop the attacker. I'm looking forward to seeing Emily Knowles represent the defense her senior season and step up big time for the Heels.
That's women's lacrosse analyst Caroline Yaffa. Thanks, Caroline.
The 19th ranked UNC men's lacrosse team begins this season this afternoon on Dorrance Field. After a disappointing 8-6 record last year, Carolina will look to get off and running against Mercer. With Chris Gray graduating the NCAA Division I career leader in points, senior Lance Tillman should take control of the offense. He's the only returning player to have scored at least 20 goals in 2022. Graduate captain Connor Marr will lead the way on the defensive end, the only UNC player elected to a preseason All-American team. Mercer struggled last season in the SoCon and already dropped a game to Bucknell last Saturday. The Tar Heels hope to take this winnable game to start the year as they try to make their return to the NCAA tournament. All the way from San Diego State and taking a leap for new opportunities at UNC Chapel Hill, first year on the hockey team left wing Cole Kozowski earned first team all-conference honors. Samantha Marlis has more.
For all 22 years of Kozowski's life, hockey has been a passion. He was about 9 months old when he first saw kids play roller hockey right outside of his house.
I immediately fell in love with how unique it was, how much creativity you could put into it, and just how fun the game looked. And from there, the passion took off.
Even after creating memories and lifelong friends at San Diego State, it was time for a new and different college experience. Kozowski decided to pack his bags and head to the Tar Heel family.
And getting into UNC was, an honor. So I knew coming here was an opportunity I couldn't pass.
He then got in contact with Coach Jeff Volkman, who fell in love with Kozowski's talent and poise on the ice.
He's got wicked hands, right? And, he just brings a tremendous amount of skill. And the guy can make plays on his own. He's exceeded all expectations. Tremendous individual, tremendous hockey player.
After long hours of practice, the newcomer was all conference.
And although they misspelled my name, it was great seeing my name there. I'm on a great line with some great players. I got a great goal scorer as a center, and I got a great playmaker on my right.
Kozowski and the Tar Heels will attempt to keep things rolling in the ACC playoffs this weekend. I'm Samantha Marlis reporting.
I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to watch Kozowski and the team this weekend as they play in the conference tournament.
The men's tennis team is looking for a bounce-back performance against Elon on Sunday. The Heels lost 4-3 against third-ranked TCU on Sunday. The Horned Frogs improved to 7-0 with the win, but the Tar Heels dropped to 5-2. Despite the loss, Ryan Segerman and Casey Kania have been named the ACC Men's Doubles Team of the Week. The number 2 ranked women's tennis team is set to face Pepperdine in the opening round of the ITA National Team Indoor Championship at the Seattle Tennis Club tonight. The Tar Heels have won the indoor title in 2020, 21, and 22, and the Heels are looking to make this year their 4th victory in a row. The Heels are coming off a 5-2 win against number 5 Georgia and are still undefeated at 12-0. Throughout the tournament, the team will rely on key performances from the number 1 ranked duo, Fiona Crawley and Carson Tangalik, and number 12 in the nation, Abby Forbes. If the Heels top Pepperdine, they'll continue to the quarterfinals tomorrow. Our tennis analyst Kyle Lobenhofer has been studying the bracket and has some thoughts about how the women's tennis team's path to a possible 4th straight championship. Kyle?
BJ, this tournament is going to be an absolute battle. But in order to be the best, you have to beat the best. In the first round, UNC is going up against Pepperdine, which is unseeded in this tournament, but is ranked as the 8th best team nationally. So let's take a look at some possible singles matchups we could see in this match. Obviously, still number 1 ranked Fiona Crawley is going to be playing on court 1, where she's most likely going to come across 16th ranked Savannah Broadus. Although Fiona is coming off a tough loss, I predict she'll bounce back and come away with a win here. The next highest ranked member at UNC is number 9 Carson Tangalik. So let's assume she matches up with Pepperdine's second best, 20th ranked Janice Jen. I'll give Tangalig the edge in this one. Then comes 12th ranked Abby Forbes. Pepperdine's next best player is Lisa Czar at number 44. That's a 12 against 44 matchup. So I'm confident Forbes can dominate in this matchup. Provided the Heels come away with the doubles point, which having the number 1 overall ranked doubles pair in Fiona Crawley and Carson Tangalig certainly helps in doing so, those 3 matches is all UNC needs to advance to the quarterfinals on Saturday, where they will most likely come across Virginia. A win against Virginia, which I believe UNC is very much capable of, would set up a possible semifinal match on Sunday against Texas A&M, the 3 seed. Obviously, there are no easy opponents, but I believe UNC should be able to march through this bracket and meet possibly number 1 seeded Texas, the team that knocked UNC out of the NCAA championships last year, in the final for a chance at their 4th straight indoor title. BJ?
Now, Kyle, how confident are you that we'll be talking about yet another trophy being hoisted by the University of National Champions the next time we see you?
BJ, although the competition is going to be stiff, UNC has a great track record of defending its title. So I am confident in this team's ability to win again and earn that 4th consecutive title.
Thanks, Kyle.
The men's golf team traveled to Hawaii for the Amer Ari Invitational to compete against 6 of the top 10 teams in GolfStat's national rankings. The event was canceled, though, just 2 holes into the second day due to high winds. The Heels will play next in the Southern Highlands Collegiate Tournament. Let's go to the mound. On Thursday morning, Carolina softball opened its season against Cal Baptist in Mexico for the first game of the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge. Going into the 5th inning, the Heels were staring at a 2-1 deficit, but that's when the bats came alive. McKenna Ray Dark and Abby Settlemeyer gave the Heels a 3-2 lead that pitcher Lily Backus was able to defend on the mound. In Game 2, the Heels took on BYU. Junior transfer Bailey McCochran pitched all 7 for the Heels with 5 strikeouts. On the offensive side, Bree Stubbs and Destiny Middleton had an RBI each, securing the shutout win for the Heels 2-0. Carolina starts the season 2-0.
UNC softball hosted a free skills clinic recently in the Bill Coleman practice facility, welcoming local youth from 1st through 6th grade. I had the chance to talk with some of the players about why this clinic was important to the team.
The team saw a huge turnout, with campers rotating through a variety of fielding and hitting stations. Junior outfielder Kiana Pierce said the clinic was all about teaching the kids.
Just kind of broke down like our most basic skills and simplified it for the kids to like kind of understand better.
Senior outfielder and pitcher Gabby Katz said that this clinic was important to the team because it was all about paying it forward.
We always love giving back to the community, and it's really important to give back, especially to like younger girls, because they're going to be in our shoes one day.
Growing up in California, Pierce wished she had the opportunity and exposure that softball clinics provide at such a young age.
I thought it was really neat, like with how young these girls were, to be able to like host a camp for them, because back home you really can only do camps starting in like recruitable ages. So the fact that like some of these girls were 1st graders or 2nd graders was pretty cool.
Pierce hopes the team continues to host youth clinics because it doesn't just impact the kids in the community. It also has considerable benefits for the team.
I think being able to host this kind of thing will not only like help us gain a fan base and be able to be connected with the community, but it also like kind of, I feel like, humanize us and make it to where like these kids know that we want to help out.
As the softball team looks ahead to the season, the Heels hope to continue the community engagement and mentoring efforts.
BJ, you know one of the best parts about softball? It's got to be the walk-up song. So if you had to go up to the plate, what would your walk-up song be?
Joshua, I don't know if I can think of a singular song, but I know what artist I'm going with. Hands down, that's Lil Baby. He's going to get me hyped every time.
It's a good choice. I got to go with No Role Models by J. Cole, probably my favorite rapper. North Carolina represent, but we got to go to a softball game so we can see what the UNC Tar Heel players, what they choose for their walk-up song. That does it for this edition of Sports Extra. We're off on Monday, but tune in on Friday, a week from today, for a preview of another big weekend in Carolina athletics.